Good morning. Today I am finally piercing my septum. If you wanna know some backstory, I'll be sure to link my previous videos about this topic down below. And if you only wanna watch me pierce my septum, then I'll also leave timestamps in the comments. Because first I just wanna show you the tools I'm using and stuff like that. And yes, I am piercing it myself because there's no studio where I live. So if I want it, then I gotta do it myself. I have pierced both my ear and my lip on this channel before, so I feel like I'm getting a little bit of experience. But I'm also definitely aware of the fact that it might come out crooked, so I'm going into this with the thought that I might have to redo it later on. But it's a quick process, so hopefully it'll turn out okay, and if not, then I'm just gonna have to heal it and then redo it later. And as far as pain goes, what I'm thinking it's gonna be like, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. As I said, I've pierced my lip on this channel before, and the lip is pretty thick. So I feel like that might have been more painful than the septum, because the skin is really thin. But then again, it's also a very sensitive area, so I'm not sure, maybe it's the same. And because it is a sensitive area, that's also the reason I'm not wearing any makeup right now, also because it's more clean. Just in case my eyes start to water a lot, which I've seen from other videos that it can do. And if you didn't know, I'm kind of prone to fainting when it comes to needles. I know it's kind of ironic, but it's just something that might happen. The previous 2 times I didn't faint, so I don't plan on doing it this time, but we'll see. But while I'm piercing, I'm just gonna have to mute everything and put some nice chill music over for you guys, because I'll definitely be wearing headphones and listening to some thrash metal myself just to kind of get me pumped and ready for the pain. And then after I pierced my nose, I'll probably take a small break just to get some blood back to my brain. Then I'll come back a little bit later to talk to you again about how I found the experience. Now let's just take a look at the tools that I'm using. I have this needle from last time when I pierced my lip. I bought several last time, so I had this kind of left over. And this is 1.5 millimeters. So almost between 16 and 14 gauge. And the jewelry I'm gonna put in is 1.2 millimeters, which is 16 gauge, I think. So the jewelry should be a bit smaller than the needle, which I think is, on one hand it's good because it's what I want, because this has a catheter, like a plastic tube that's going in my nose. And that way, since the jewelry is smaller, I'll be able to fit the jewelry inside the tube for an easy sliding through my nose. Because the jewelry is also externally threaded, so that way, since it's inside the tube, it doesn't really matter because it won't be touching my wound anyways. But on the other side, when you pierce and you use smaller jewelry, you might get a bit of excess bleeding, since the jewelry is not completely tight inside the wound, so there might be some space. I don't know how that works, but we'll see. And also, since I'm piercing with 1.5 millimeters, I'm thinking that maybe after it's healed, I might even be able to fit a 1.6 millimeter jewelry in there. Maybe after a while. I don't really care if I'm wearing 1.2 or 1.6. Maybe when using a needle like this, which is kind of in between, I'll be able to swing both ways. We'll see with time. And then I specifically ordered these type of clamps, which have these kind of barrels on the end. I did already have these clamps from before, from when I pierced my lip, but as you can see, the hole is quite big, so I feel like there's much more risk of the needle going in crooked this way. So that's why I ordered these barrel ones, because the barrel is quite small, so I feel like it's kind of guiding the needle through. And also because it has the barrel on the outside, or the barrel is kind of long, so it kind of pokes out of your nose. Because with this, I feel like I have a risk of, when I push the needle through, I'm gonna hit my other nostril on this side. So with the barrel, since it's kind of poking outwards, you don't have that risk, basically. I'm just gonna use my clamps here because I've already soaked it in alcohol, but it's just a basic horseshoe. I've taken both the ball ends off it just for now. This was actually quite crooked when I got it, and it was a bitch to try and get straight because it's titanium. So it was really hard and tough to kind of get straight, but I think I got it. I just don't want it to be crooked from the beginning because when I pierce it and put it in, it might have looked crooked if the jewelry was crooked. So then I wouldn't know if I had pierced it crooked or not. So I tried to straighten it as best as I could. And then I also have alcohol here if I need to disinfect some more. Definitely my nostrils before I pierce. Some Q-tips and cotton pads in case I need to sterilize anything else. And yeah, I think that's it. So I think we're ready to go. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom and clean my nose real quick. Then I'll come back and disinfect it, and then I'll turn on the camera when I think I'm ready to pierce it. So enjoy, and then I'll be back later on to tell you all about it. And I'm back. It's honestly so small that I can't even see it in my camera viewfinder. Yeah, that went a lot smoother than I thought it would. It honestly didn't hurt at all, and there were no tears flowing or nothing. Almost a bit disappointing. My hands were so shaky, and the worst part was definitely like the moment before when you decide to put the needle through. Like just sitting there with a clamp and you kind of sit ready with the needle tip at your nose and you feel the sharp tip. Like that's the worst part because you think it's gonna hurt like a bitch. And like my heart was pumping so fast. So I sat for like definitely probably 2 minutes or more just waiting for the right moment to push the needle through. Like that was definitely the worst part for me because I was so like nervous. But when I pushed it through, it honestly did not hurt at all. It was like a 1 out of 10 for me. So yeah, that was super easy. When I had the plastic tube through, it did look slightly crooked, like slightly up on this side, kind of like this. But now that I have the jewelry in, I can't really tell. So it seems to be straight, or at least now that I have jewelry in, the angle might be so small that it doesn't affect the jewelry. But we'll see when it's healed and I try on different jewelry. Like maybe if I put in a seamless ring, maybe it'll look slightly angled then, I'm not sure. But then it could also be because it's kind of swollen now. I'm not sure if it is, but like I can assume that it might be swollen on the inside. Also, the horseshoe is a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I tried to pierce it as high as I could without going through the cartilage. I felt that was really easy with the barrel clamp that I had because after I clamped down, I could like wiggle it below the cartilage to make sure that I wasn't on top of the cartilage. That was really easy to feel. So I really liked those clamps. They definitely helped with getting the spot right. Can it focus? When I look straight forward, you can actually see just the ball ends on the horseshoe. Why won't it focus? Like you can only really see the ball ends and not the horseshoe itself. So it's actually really small, and I guess that's because I put it pretty high. I'm really happy about it. That's kind of what I wanted. So yeah, I really like the look of this. Or well, the look of the piercing. I'm not a fan of the horseshoe, so I'm definitely just gonna keep that while it's healing, and then I'll change to either a clicker or a seamless ring, most likely. And the reason I chose the horseshoe for healing is just that it's easier to kind of close and put in when the piercing is fresh. I don't need to flip it up or anything, which I'm really happy about because I think that can affect like the hole. If you flip it up, it might heal that way. So it's kind of curved upwards. But I will try and flip it up later on after it's healed, just because when I visit my parents, they are not fan of piercings or tattoos at all. So I'm definitely hiding this when I visit them. So yeah, I'm excited to see if I'm able to flip it up and hide it. But I won't try that until after it's fully healed. And my husband is leaving from his work right now, so I'm kind of excited to see his reaction. He's not a huge fan of piercings or tattoos either, but he's a good husband and lets me do whatever I want, so I don't think he will like it, but he'll eventually get used to it. He was okay with it when I had my lip ring even, and that one it's kind of interfering when we kiss and stuff, so if he could handle that, then I'm sure he'll accept my septum because it's not like interfering with anything, kind of. But yeah, I'm really excited about getting new jewelry for it. I haven't ordered anything yet simply because I wanted to pierce it first and then see if I did it crooked or not, because I didn't want to buy a lot of jewelry and then end up with a shit piercing that I had to remove anyways. So I just wanted to wait and see if I wanted to keep it, which I definitely am. So I'm gonna go on different websites now and just order a bunch of probably some cheap stuff first, just to test out different lengths and diameters so I know which sizes to go for when I want to buy some more expensive pieces. The one thing I'm missing is something to clean it with. I do have sea salt, but I don't really want to make my own saltwater solution. So I'm definitely gonna go to a pharmacy and get like sterile saltwater solution to clean it with. It doesn't cost much at all, it's really cheap, so might as well get some sterile solution. I'm not sure how long the pharmacy is open today, so I might have to go tomorrow morning. But yeah, I'm really happy with it, and it went so smooth, I almost can't believe it. I'll try and update you guys in a few weeks time, maybe after 2 weeks like I did with my lip piercing. And yeah, hope to see you then in my next video. Vi ses!